Welcome to Daily English with Emma. Today we're going to talk about something very important in daily life goals. Goals are part of our personal life, our work life, and our learning journey. People talk about goals at school, at work, in interviews, and in everyday conversations. Knowing how to talk about goals in English helps you express your ideas clearly and confidently. First, let's understand what a goal is. A goal is something you want to achieve in the future. It can be small or big. It can be short term or long term. For example, learning English is a goal. Getting a new job can be a goal. Improving your health can be a goal. Everyone has goals, even if they don't always talk about them. When talking about goals in English, we usually use the future tense. One very common sentence structure is, my goal is to, for example, my goal is to improve my English. My goal is to get a better job. My goal is to save more money. This structure is simple, natural, and very common in daily English. Another useful structure is I want to. This is very natural in spoken English. For example, I want to learn English fluently. I want to travel to another country. I want to feel more confident. This sentence is often used when talking casually with friends or family. When people talk about goals, they often talk about time. For example, this year, in the future, in the next few months. One day you can combine these words with your goals. For example, this year, my goal is to improve my English. In the future, I want to start my own business. In the next few months, I want to practice speaking every day. Sometimes people talk about short-term goals. Short-term goals are goals you want to achieve soon. For example, my short-term goal is to study English every day. My short-term goal is to wake up earlier. My short-term goal is to finish this course. These goals are usually easier and faster to achieve. Other times, people talk about long-term goals. Long-term goals take more time. For example, my long-term goal is to speak English confidently. My long-term goal is to live in another country. My long-term goal is to have a successful career. When talking about long-term goals, people often sound hopeful and motivated. You can also talk about why you have a goal. This makes your English sound more natural and meaningful. For example, my goal is to improve my English because it helps my career. I want to learn English so I can communicate with people from different countries. My goal is to save money so I can support my family. Using because or so helps connect your ideas. Another common way to talk about goals is by using plans. For example, I plan to practice English every day. I'm planning to take an English course. I plan to move to a new city next year. Talking about plans shows that your goal is serious and realistic. Sometimes people talk about goals at work or in interviews. In these situations, English is usually more polite and clear. For example, my goal is to grow professionally. I want to develop my skills. My goal is to contribute more to my team. These sentences sound professional and positive. People also talk about challenges when discussing goals. For example, learning English is challenging, but I'm improving. It's not easy, but I'm working on it. I face difficulties, but I don't give up. This kind of language shows honesty and determination. Another useful phrase is, I'm working on. For example, I'm working on improving my pronunciation. I'm working on my confidence. I'm working on my listening skills. This phrase shows progress, even if the goal is not finished yet. Talking about goals is not only about success, it's also about effort and mindset. People often say, I'm trying my best. I'm taking small steps. I'm learning every day. These expressions are very natural in daily English. Sometimes people talk about goals they haven't reached yet. That's okay. For example, I haven't achieved my goal yet, but I'm learning. I'm still working toward my goal. It takes time, but I'm patient. This kind of language sounds realistic and mature. When talking about goals, confidence is important. You don't need perfect English. You need clear ideas and simple sentences. Simple English is strong English. Let's talk briefly about learning English as a goal. Many people say, my goal is to speak English fluently. I want to understand English movies and videos. My goal is to communicate confidently in English. These are very common and practical goals. The most important thing when talking about goals is honesty. You don't need big or impressive goals. Your goals are personal. Small goals are still goals. Daily practice matters more than big promises. Talking about goals helps you organize your thoughts. It helps you stay motivated, and it helps others understand you better. To summarize, when talking about goals in English, remember, use simple future sentences. Talk about time. Explain why your goal matters. Be honest and clear. Goals are not just about the future, they guide your actions today. Every small step you take brings you closer to your goal. Thank you for listening to Daily English with Emma. Keep learning, keep practicing, and keep moving toward your goals, one step at a time.